Mighty. Can I call you Mighty for short?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Thank you for coming. I've been looking forward to this interview.
My pleasure. Glad to be
Right?
here. Thank you for having me. Okay. All right. So, my name is Bruce. My stage name is Mighty One Man Band. I am a musician, a music artist who performs many instruments simultaneously without looping, without minus ones, so they say, right? Without any playbacks. So everything that I do when I perform on stage is live, and every instrument is performed manually by a real human being. So in a nutshell, that's what I do with my music performance.
Wow. And you write comic.
This is new. Yes, this is something that is just initiated this year in 2026. The concept of Mighty One Man Band to begin with was actually read the name itself, Mighty One Man Band. It sounds kind of like superhero-esque, kind of like comic book-esque in a way, right?
Yeah.
So for me, growing up, not only I was inspired by music, but I was also inspired by comic book heroes. Just like so many other kids out there, I grew up watching movies or reading comic books from DC and Marvel Comics, etc. And for my part of the world, I live in Asia. I also grew up with manga and anime, lots of the superhero cultures from the Japanese pop cultures, etc., as well. Therefore, combining the two elements, combining the two worlds between music and the comic book cultures, later the Mighty One Man Band was born. Yeah.
It's a natural evolution. I can see that.
In a way, it felt like that. It's a natural evolution. Yes, you are so true.
Right?
Yeah.
I find many musicians are multi-talented. It's a compulsion. I know you. It has to be a compulsion. You are prolific. You are
Trying to
absolutely.
be. Yeah, it's when you have those ideas after ideas, you have to express them. If you don't express it and if you don't let it out, eventually you'll go crazy, right? It's in order to stay sane as an artist, as a music artist, I might say that you have to keep expressing yourself, keep producing, as you said, keep being prolific, right? Yeah, it's like a therapy for people like us.
Your music, you have different expressions. You know, you have some really sweet songs. Oh my goodness. And then you have some really intense music and party music. Did you grow up in Jakarta?
Right. Yes. Well, yeah. I partially grew up in Jakarta. Just with the nature of my dad's job and his postgraduate education. So we, as a family, we traveled here and there. Of course, I grew up in Jakarta, Indonesia, because that's where my parents are from. And I also grew up in Melbourne, Australia.
No
And
wonder.
later on in middle school and high school, I grew up in Texas, particularly in Austin, Texas. Yeah, and for college, I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston.
Wow.
Right, and then I stayed there after graduating from Berkeley. This is not Berkeley, California, but
Right.
Berkeley,
I
Boston
mean, it's
instead.
very prestigious
Right,
school. Are you
right.
kidding?
But
But
anyway, after graduating from there, I stayed in Boston for several years until eventually I went back home because my parents already went home anyway. My dad is retired. He's 79 years old and all that. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back in Jakarta again after living all over the places.
wow,
Yeah.
you are really well traveled. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah, living around the world. It's an experience that it's definitely worth it, and it cannot be traded for with anything else.
Wow.
But in any case, similar thing with you, right? You lived in Austria before, right?
Yeah, well, between California and Austria, that's where I've lived. Yes, too.
Right.
Nothing. But how many instruments do you play? I know you play more than three.
Yeah, it's that's a really good question. And also, sometimes I would, when somebody asked me that questions, I would ask back, how do you define playing an instrument? I would say that the instruments that I'm really good at, that I'm really like, I would say that on an advanced level are the popular rock band instruments such as guitar, bass, keyboards, drums. Those are the popular rock band instruments, right? I'm really good in playing any of those instruments individually or at the same time together. But other than that, what a dabbler is, right? I also dabble in orchestral instruments and stuff like that. I play some flute, for example. I play some ocarina. That's an ancient instrument.
Oh,
And dabbling on some woodwind and brass instruments as well, and some string instruments, such as violin and etc. etc. So I would say my top five instruments are those rock band instruments: drums, bass, guitar, keyboards, and vocals. That it counts
yes.
as an
I
instrument as
love your
well.
voice. I love it.
Thank you, appreciate that. Thank you. Other than that, it feels like out of those five, it feels like the rest of the instruments, which I can play competently enough, but it feels like those are my secondary ones, my secondary instruments. Yeah.
When did you first start playing music? How old were you?
Yeah, I was like, oh man, I remember I was like probably like around 6 or maybe younger, 5.5 years old when my mom used to take me to piano lessons. There was a small piano school, piano music lesson studio in Jakarta back in the day. Yeah, as early as 5.5 years old, as
Wow.
far as I remember.